Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zaks Traders Cafe for Friday the 15th of November. Starting off with the FTSE 100 and here old support becoming new resistance towards 8080, and while we're below that, got the risk of a retest of the August support there, 7915, I suppose down towards 7900. RSI in basically not a great place, just under 40, which suggests that we still have scope for one big down day, maybe to retest that 7900 zone. The only thing which would get us out of jail at the moment is perhaps either an end-of-day close above recent 8080 resistance, or perhaps the 200-day line there around 8105, but not looking great, even though in a way we are potentially at the bottom of the range. Moving on to the DAX, and here this has been a situation with a bit of a rug pull on Wednesday, a bear trap from below the 50-day moving average, which is still rising there at 19,100. Got the top of the floor of that channel there, currently around 19,000 as well, and looking for this market to break that October resistance line there at 19,500. If we can do that, looking for an end-of-year target here, 20,600. And hopefully that would be in place even sooner than the end of the year, given the way that this market moves. Worst case is we have to have a rug pull down to the 200-day line, 18,300. Moving on to the Dow, and here we've done really well after basically holding that gap up day, that the top of that day there on the 6th of November has now become basically the new support, 43,700. Above that, still looking for a final near-term push to 45,000 over the course of the rest of November. If we do break down, looking for the 50-day line there, as we actually had before at the beginning of the month, around 42,300, but not worse than that. Moving on to Bitcoin, which has been the star of the show this month, and doing well, I suppose. Really like to see it on the right side of 90,000, but after the jump that we've had, can't really complain. It looks like a second mid-move consolidation. We had the first one there around 75,000, the second one now around 88,000. Still looking for the magic 100,000 level, hopefully by the end of this month, if we are lucky. Obviously, it's a decent end-of-year target anyway. On the downside now, not expecting anything worse than 80,000, which was support on the way up. Moving on to gold, which has been, I would say, a shocker, but not very nice over the recent past. Perhaps dollar strength doing the damage here. The uptrend line there from June also getting broken, but it is around that 2570 area, and that was 2560-70 was a potential support point after obviously the rug has been pulled unceremoniously this month. The other problem here is that the RSI is still not oversold, so there could still be a move down closer towards that 2500 level, which is painful given that we were at 2800 just days ago. On to pound dollar, where given the lay of the land, one would try to work out why anybody would want to buy the pound at the moment. We've already fallen down to August support here around the 126.50 level. Next level down towards 126, but difficult to see how we don't just go straight down to 123 given the interest rate outlook and obviously the economy destroying budget that we had last month. Moving on to the stocks, and happy situation to start off with, which is Angle. And here you can see that we've had this falling trend channel there since February, but it looks as though we've got what I call a V-shaped bull flag resting on a falling 50-day moving average, which tends to be a decent signal. The target here up to the 200-day moving average at 13.7 pence, and hopefully we can get that well before the end of this month. What we'd also like to see today is an end-of-day close back above the top of that September gap there around the 10.6 pence level. Excellent update from Audioboom today, but as has been the case in all the recent past, some bright spark keeps selling the shares towards £2.50. Today the high 2.35, and we're back off that now. But one day before we're all too old, perhaps we will get that end of day close through £2.50, suggesting that the pesky seller's gone and we can head up to retest April resistance. Maybe that'll happen by the end of this year. Positive at the moment, apart from the unfilled gap to the upside, is the way that the 50-day line is now rising, and we had a bear trap rebound from below £2, so it's not quite as negative as it has been in the recent past. Moving along to Firing, where non-dilutive funding has been the name of the game. That means that we've basically hit our second target there, the red line from December last year, around 5.6 pence. I think we're just shy of that. In fact, we did actually hit 5.6 pence. Looking for support to remain above the 4.5 pence level, and then for the shares quite logically heading up to previous resistance level on the way down around 7 pence plus, hopefully by the end of this year. Moving on to GreenRoc, and here decent bounce today, unfilled gap to the upside off the low. Want to see an end of day or end of week close above 2.7 pence so we can get up to the top of that rising trend channel base as high as 2.8 pence maybe by the end of this year, but it needs a bit of effort, I think, to get through that 200-day moving average. Decent move from Metals One yesterday, apparently off the back of a CEO interview the company did, not with me unfortunately, but here we've got the shares above the 50-day moving average for the first time since July. That's a 0.48. If we can stay above that, then we've got the chance of a best case scenario target towards 0.8 pence, maybe by the end of this year, off the back of PEA hopes. Moving on to Metalnrg, where Ectech has left the building, but shares still looking strong at the moment. Here you can see we've got a rising trend channel there. The floor of the channel successfully guessed as being around 0.31, and we've had a decent rise since then over the course of this week. Top of the channel there at 0.75, in fact now up to 0.76, and looking for that ideally by the end of this month, but at least as a decent end of year target while we're above the 50-day line at 0.45. Moving along to a stock which has done us proud, even though we haven't really talked about it too much, which is Metro Bank. We were looking at this on the spike that happened at the beginning of August, and saying that while we're above 50 pence, we were looking for this to be bullish. Just nudged the top of that rising trend channel there from May around 95 pence, and still looking for a target towards £1 while we remain above recent support at 85 pence. Moving on to Pantheon, and here you can see that we've been bouncing on the 200-day moving average there at 24 pence. Above that, not only are we looking for the target, the red line target at 26, but actually best case scenario target by the end of this year as high as 42 pence, although it's difficult to see what would do that, but a nice U-shaped turnaround anyway, and the more time the shares spend above the 200-day line, the better. Moving on to quantum blockchain, which I probably look at too much, but here we've had the shares now resting on the old target there, 1.05 pence, and looking for 1.8 pence, hopefully by the end of the year, and ideally we stay on the right side of that 200-day line, 0.87. The poetically named Seascape is next, and here pushing ahead, breaking through the old October resistance there at 39 pence. Above that, we're looking for 60 pence plus by the end of this year at the upper parallel of that rising trend channel from the last year. Only back below the 35 pence area, really killing the idea of ongoing recovery. Finishing off with the star of the show, and it is TAP Global by quite some distance. We were initially looking for 1 3/4 pence, and that was then pushed up to as high as 4 pence by, I think, the end of the month, maybe the end of next month actually, but the high so far today up to the 3.1 pence level, and looking for 4 pence perhaps by the end of this month on the back of today's news. Best case is up to 6 pence by the end of the year, which was basically the main sticky resistance for the shares last year and the year before. Upside valid, especially while we remain above the top of the latest gap there, 1.9 pence. That's it from me today. More updates over the weekend.